I'm Johnny Lieberman, and you're watching LNP. What does LNP stand for?
Late Night Playset.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I've been on there. Yeah, it's a good show. You should like and subscribe. Like and subscribe.
Late night, woo! Let's get some subbies!
They're gone. Killed it. Nice job. Love the FG life. What's up? This is what it's all about right here. Right? It's coming from Amazon at some point. Thought it'd be here by now. I don't know what's up with it. Whoa, what's up? Hey, Guards Rat is here. Thank God. David McCarthy is here. That's good news. And the YouTube audience is watching us on the Instagram. I love it. I love it. Fantastic. All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome. Shut this shit off here. Bring the real show in. And do the whole thing here. Hey, what's up? Oh, beautiful. Hi.
Hi.
How you doing?
Great.
I'm running around like crazy. Nothing new there. Life's good. Okay, lots of stuff to talk about tonight. All right, welcome back to the Late Night Playset, everybody. Tonight is Thursday, July 1st, 2021. It's the 7th month. Holy crap. That really is crazy to me because we are in the second half of 2021.
Flown by.
2021 seemed like, oh, it's going to be the savior for 2020. 2020 was supposed to be the savior for all of our lives leading up to this point. I don't know where the hell we are. But anyway, it is that day, July 1st, 2021. My name is Jay Ryan. The lady to my right is Nicole Ryan, and we are the Ryans. We will be your hosts this evening. Lots to talk about, but the most important thing that I need to tell you is that at 5:30 p.m. here in the Pacific, KATHRYN DELOREAN is our guest this evening, daughter of John DeLorean. My sister in life. We are insanely close. Neither one of us really can even explain why. Hey, what's up, Porsche Lifestyle 2? Carissable. Hello, Carissable. Whoa. Thank you for the green car, Carissable. Anyway, KATHRYN's going to be calling in at 5:30, 8:30 for her. She's on the East Coast now, and we can't wait. It's been a long time coming for this.
It's been a long time.
This will probably be one of many. I don't think that we will nearly get to it all in one show, even though we're prepared to go long. Evening, Skip Loss. What's happening? And make sure our YouTube comments are here as well, if need be. Okay. All right. Have I settled down yet? I feel like I actually settled down early today. Usually it takes a lot longer.
You diaphragmed. Yeah.
Boost Babe is here. What's up? You and Cadillac Pat are two wonderful friends up at Breakfast Club. Baby suffers from MS also. I don't know if she suffers. I shouldn't say that, but she has MS as well.
Yes. She's afflicted. We look at it very differently, but she's afflicted by it also.
You guys seem to be, you're afflicted differently. I don't know if people know this or not. MS is not like COVID. You can't be like, oh, yeah, look, you've got MS. There's the thing that shows you have MS. It's more of a catch-all for once you don't have all of the other stuff. They go, oh, well, you have this thing called multiple sclerosis. Multiple sclerosis. It doesn't even mean it. You've got multiple problems that we can't figure out is basically what that translates to. So, oh, love you. Love you, too. Anyway, I heard Cadillac Pat was thinking about selling the 911 Turbo because he's having so much fun with the Skyline. Is that true? For you guys, I hope it is. But we would stupid internet. But it would suck to lose you from the Porsche family, even though we won't lose you from the Mountain family. Anyway, okay, so lots of stuff to get through in the next 20 minutes before KATHRYN calls in. So let's just start with some video. Let's get right to the GVBC weather report, which is tomorrow, everybody, Friday. And it's awfully hot in here, Los Angeles. So let's see what the GVBC weather report is for tomorrow.
This is Dasha, and welcome to the GVBC Weather Channel. We have a special guest here. How do you see what weather is going to be like at Newcombs next week?
It's gonna be 90 degrees.
Yes, right.
It's going to be 90 degrees. Oh, Dasha again. And shout out to Bobo Lee. That was a nice cameo by Bobo Lee there, Sean Lee's dog.
The dog.
Yeah, Bobo Lee from the Purist Group.
We talked last week.
I love every week he comes up there. Oh, I forgot. Hang on. All right, so the choices tonight for Tradecraft Thursday in the Mrs. Ryan grab bag here. We have the Dirty Head still sitting here. Lift Me Up, Tangy, Jack Herrera. That's the sativa. And then there's it's an upper hybrid called Gelato, which I know you've had, I think, both of these before, but
I would
look at that beautiful Hawaiian potpourri of colors.
That's pretty bright. I would like the Jack Herrera one, please.
Oh, is it Jack Herrera? I keep saying Herrera, and I've done that always, which I think is wrong, right?
I don't know.
It's Jack Herrera.
That's how I say it.
Okay. These, of course, are courtesy of Tradecraft Farms and our friends over at Sticky Vape. If you can see right here, they moved across the street here, just over there for our Instagram audience. There you can see them right over there. Nice new building. Congrats to you guys. They're in the Artist District down there by Magnus. Trying to get these guys put together. And then the other thing, oh my God, Magnus and his shoes. So many people have reached out to me trying to get sneakers from Magnus, and it's like it doesn't really work that way.
Nope.
And I wish it did, because I, like you, I would love to have a pair of 277 shoes. I mean, I would love that. But I don't know how many. Was there ever an announcement for how many they made, or is that still secret?
I think it's still secret.
Okay, because Back to the Future, I remember whatever it was when I did the thing with Kobe, it was like 1,500 pairs or 15,000 pairs. Whatever the number was, it was, this is it and that's it. When they say limited, it's like it's legitimately limited. Because by the time that anybody's actually getting them, the plant made them months earlier. They've been hidden in some, under lock and key somewhere.
Right.
It's not like they can just, run off another 60 or 70 pair, because it turns out
3D printed.
Magnus has more friends than he thought he did.
Yeah. I used to get questions like that all the time when I did PR. Like, everyone wanted to go to whatever we were at, and I was like, I don't have any more tickets.
A lot like Entourage. Was it fair to? Was it similar? Like, we all see the show Entourage, and they had a publicist on that show who the guys were always like, oh, don't worry, Sean will take care of it. We'll just pawn it off on her. And it struck me as being a little, like, I knew your job wasn't at all like that, although I knew that there were people who were like that within your world. Is that fair to say? I don't want to get you in any.
Yeah, we all put different faces on when we had to.
Yeah, all right. Fair enough. Anyway, so Magnus and the sneaker. Okay, so the GVBC weather report did that. Okay. Now, East Coast feeds, we'll save that to see how we do on time. What are you driving today? Finally, some wonderful news about what are you driving today. If you heard me on Tuesday, I said that for sure, no matter what, it'll be up on Friday. That is the truth. As a matter of fact, Officially, it launches tomorrow, but if anybody wants to go there, it is open for business. The YouTube channel is up. All of the thumbnails are done. All the descriptions are done. This is all done by David and Alex over there at the Studio Guards Rad. But it's up. Go to What Are You Driving Today and watch the videos. Please like, subscribe. Please do whatever you're supposed to do. Whatever we're supposed to do for this channel and that channel. Let's all start doing it, shall we? Yeah, Guards Rad liking the hell out of it. Everybody is. Hippie Grip, what's up, Hippie Grip? Now, I finally know who you are due to your face and your handle, and one day I will attach a real name to it, and I know what car you got. You just got that 718 Boxster. Congrats. But what's her real name? She comes and sits next to you at Breakfast Club and talks to you sometimes.
Oh, is that JC?
JC?
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds right. See why I can't remember it? JC. Jonathan Cowan is here. JC, yeah, there you go. Exactly. Look at you. You're both right. What do we have for him? All right. So here we go. Here's the quick teaser for What Are You Driving Today? Roll it, Hal.
There you go. What are you driving today? 63 356B. Hey, 111. What are you driving today? Here we go. Oh, this is fun, David. Thumbs up for sure.
This just proves that you don't have to go fast to have fun.
You don't have to go fast. Can you see my smile already?
Okay, I'm impressed.
Don't need to stick it. He's already got it. My car's gonna feel slow as balls after this. I'll tell you that. Pedal down. Yeah, baby.
Slow as balls. Universal knowledge and vocabulary. Slow as balls. So embarrassing. So embarrassing. You say one stupid thing and then it makes into a thing and you just have to watch it. You say that stupid thing over and over and over. Can't change it. Can't. I can wish I didn't say it, but that does not take it away. That's the truth. All right, so what's happening, everybody? Welcome back over here on the Instagram. St. Clair Insurance is here. We're going to talk about you in a few minutes. Hello, all. Good to see you. Or, good to see your avatar there and stuff. Okay, let's see. Yellow Car 2.0. Should we talk about Yellow Car 2.0? We hinted at it on Tuesday with Basem. Who was a great guest, by the way. Please go watch that show. What a great guest from his philosophies on life, which are very similar to ours, but stories about like hitting the deer with the McLaren press car. And then if you want to find out about press cars in general and how all that stuff works, watch that show. I don't know if we had got to the bottom of anything as usual, but we open a lot of cans of worms. That's what we do. we ask the questions here on the Playset. Andy Berger. Hi, Andy Berger. Andy Berger 1. Quack RC is above. Oh, Jared's garage. Oh, look at all these people. Hello. I forgot to wave. There we go. Makes me happy. All right, so Yellow Car 2.0. I started with the tires. It started with Yellow Car has some age now. We bought it with 30,000 miles. It's almost 90 now. So, and we don't take it. They haven't been babied.
They're not easy miles.
Low rev, shift it. Oh God, no, not at all. So the car is amazing still, but everything was starting to tire, and starting with the tires. And you guys all remember what happened with Michelin. We reached out and they were really incredibly generous and sent us a set of tires, and we're so grateful. Thank you, VW for life. He says, nice shirt. Thank you, sir. I'm wearing this shirt because I do love the only DeLorean still in my life. The only DeLorean still in my life will be here tonight. That's exciting.
That's pretty awesome.
But anyway, so the gist of it is it got the wheels spinning, and it was like, well, wait a second, we could probably do something. And then, we've been teasing the idea of doing this video with Magnus for a while, this video with Magnus for a while that will come out at some point. We're going to shoot it, but we're using that as the impetus to let's let's get a yellow 2.0 going. Let's see, what would we do if we could do anything? If we could start just calling vendors and being like, hey, do you want to be involved and do this thing? Where would we start? And I started, with the top of my list, and they've all been yeses so far. So I'm really, really grateful. I just want to say thanks to everybody. Darren at Pfister Designs, man, did you knock it out of the park. I called him on Monday on a whim thinking, we didn't do an exhaust. Maybe we should do an exhaust. And Paul Kennel just got that bitchin' exhaust from FD for his 996 GT3 that he just picked up. And I watched the video and I was like, holy shit. Okay. All right. And we have other friends who run that as well. But anyway, I reached out to Darren on Monday. The cans are already, the new sport exhaust for yellow cars already sitting at TLG waiting. Marco's gone for the weekend. You know what I mean? It's the holidays. The earliest anything will be happening is next week.
That's
I think probably the week after. So just huge shout out to Darren at FD Design. By all means, if you are looking for an exhaust solution, oh, look at that. VW and Kat are already talking. Amazing. Check them out. They do incredible work and damn nice people. And holy cow, the service. So starting with that. Obviously, we'll tell you a lot more when things happen. We're doing a lot of stuff. I'm not going to get into all of the vendors, but we're doing coilovers. We're doing other suspension racing type upgrades, cup car type upgrades, and clutch, flywheel, shifter, cables, a lot of stuff. All stuff that needed to be done. Everything that was getting tired. So.
Sounds like a lot, but it's all the core stuff, I think.
Yeah, it is. It's going to be great. So it should be like new and even better afterwards. So awesome. It should be really, really good. So that's what's going on with Yellow Car. We're grateful. And of course, would be remiss to not mention, I said it briefly, but TLG, Marco and Steve and Armando over at TLG, our Cars Porsche family. Huge thank you. Huge thank you for everything. Always taking care of us and keeping that car running and on the road. So cool, man. Looking forward to seeing 2.0 Yellow Car. Yeah, that's the other thing. Like, oh boy, you do all these mechanical things and it's like you feel like, oh, I got to do something aesthetic as well. Does anybody have any ideas? Because like I have a couple ideas, but they're all small. I don't want to really change what we have. I don't want Yellow Car fully loaded. We don't want. It would be very easy to go down that ramp, and I'm saying that because it came to mind because VW for Life is here, who actually worked on that movie. And has probably more Herbie history than anybody on this planet. But you remember when it was the full NASCAR and they flared it out and it was like had the spoiler on the back and all that shit. Like, I don't know that we need to go all that. Oh no, I can't do the black wheels. I know, that's what everybody says. I know. I like my silver wheels. Shit. I know. Everybody else says it too. Everybody else says it. All right, that's something to think about. Small wing. See, Damon, if anything, I was thinking about perhaps finding a one-piece fiberglass ducktail that replaces the entire engine deck, not just the spoiler, so that I could actually save some weight and have an actual, what do they call that when it actually works? It's not just aesthetic. Functional spoiler. Black hood. See, that's the thing. I don't want to do all period incorrect is us, so it's got to have the things that they did in the 50s, like Herbie. I'm more on the lines of like, do we put rally lights on it or like black mirrors? Because I'm thinking about doing the black mirrors on the side, shit like that. We'll see. Fuck, I know. Everything you said I was thinking about too, though, damn it. Because if I did the front hood, I could do the hood black and the deck lid black. I know. On and on and on. Ducktail says Sinclair Insurance. All right, so maybe somebody can help find me a vendor that makes the ducktail in one piece. I just want the one piece. Because some places replace the pop-up spoiler with the ducktail, and it's not enough for me. It's not enough for me. I feel like if you're only going that level, I'm like, I already painted it black. Like I've already done something to that part. I would either change the whole thing out or nothing at all. Olin's Road and Track. Yeah, I can't say we are getting coilovers from somebody. In fact, the paperwork's all done. I can say it, as a matter of fact. Bilstein will be providing coilovers for us. And they were my first ask and my most wanted ask, again, because of the period stuff. And they did, lights on the hood. I was thinking, again, I probably would do, boy, no, everyone's so, this is good. This is why I'm unique. I was thinking more lower, like down like where the checkered flag is in the mouth there. We'll see. But yeah, again, you bring up a good point. Or if we did them just, see, if anybody wants to do any renderings of this, I'd love to see what these actually look like, because I have no idea. I mean, maybe everybody else is right. You do all those things and I just wouldn't want to change the nice happy. The car's so happy right now, and I feel like the black hood, it makes it so racy that like it's not as approachable anymore. Black mirrors and black wheels. Yeah, black mirrors I'm pretty much sold on. That's something I wanted to do since we got the car. I just never did it. And I didn't want to plastic dip them. I want to change them. In fact, I may call our friend Sarah over at LA Dismantler and see if she's just got some black mirrors and maybe we could just do a swap-a-rooney or something. We'll see. In fact, I'm definitely going to do that because I have a whole bunch of yellow car parts that I told her a year ago. Before when COVID started, I told her, I was like, I'll bring them over to you and, donate or whatever. And whatever, we'll finally do that. Okay, so I don't know which ones they are. I don't exactly remember, but I'm really excited about it. All right, East Coast Feed is the last thing we should do because 5 minutes before Kathryn's here. Okay, did I do everything else? I feel like I've, as usual, a mile a minute. There's so much shit to get through.
I believe so.
And then commercials. Ah, shit, I should do commercials first. Do we want to save East Coast Feed for next week? I've been talking so much. Does it matter?
No.
It doesn't matter if we save it?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. Let me see where they are. Oh, yeah. Let's save it. Let's save it for Tuesday because I think Tuesday might be just a talk to everybody Tuesday, talk to us Tuesday. Okay. Don't forget the flux capacitor, you son of a. I don't think our car will have a flux capacitor. or any other of those accoutrements. Mr. Fusion. Although I'll tell you, LA traffic these days, now that COVID's over, hover conversion would be nice. Wouldn't mind that sometimes. Just being able to kind of... That would be great. That would be great. I'm sure you guys hear it on all the podcasts, but LA traffic is back full bore. Like worse than it used to be. All right. Then I'm going to do commercials. Jeff Sinclair, I'm happy you're here. You're here on a good night. We're talking about you. We do this every show. Let's start with him. Here we go. They say all that separates men and boys is the coverage for their toys. St. Clair Insurance is coverage for your toys. In this case, we are talking about classic cars. And the classic car market is all over the place right now. I can't believe how the values have shot up in almost every kind of car and marque that you can imagine. Including yours. Yes, that's right. Good business is going to get your car evaluated right now and then checking in with your auto insurance. As a matter of fact, I'd go one further and say that you should probably look into other options when it comes to auto insurance, especially now that you have a new evaluation. Go to St. Clair Insurance and check out coverageforyourtoys.com. Coverageforyourtoys.com.
Coverageforyourtoys.com.
You're going to want to send a message over there to Jeff Sinclair and get to know what he's all about because he is solid people. Good people. Good people. Really good people. Huge, great people. Sorry. I didn't mean it like that, but he is. He's a wonderful, wonderful person. So, and we love you, Jeff Sinclair. Lost his sister a couple weeks ago. Poor guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sick for a little bit, but just never makes it easy. Or whatever, never gets easy. Shut up, you got it. Need a lift lately? Cruise into a healthy holiday weekend with Cruise into Wellness CBD. The cruise is with a Z. Use promo code LATENIGHT for 20% off your order. That's right, a very generous 20% off your order at cruiseinitowellness.com. Go over to cruiseinitowellness.com. cruiseinitowellness.com, cruiseinitowellness.com.
Cruiseinitowellness.com.
All right, Dasha is here, everybody. This is the GVBC weather report girl. Dasha, I think you might have missed it. I think we did it already. Now, real quick, let me just see if this is here. Whoopsie daisy. I'll see if I can do this and make sure that our Bluetooth is on for our speaker. And hopefully the Instagram audience will still be there. Because at the very least, YouTube is seeing all of this. There we go. Are we still there? Is everybody still here? Love you guys too. Fantastic. This worked. Now I think we have our guest ready. This is amazing. Okay. Cruiseinitowellness.com, cruiseinitowellness.com.
Cruiseinitowellness.com.
And if I didn't say it before, use promo code LATENIGHT. Late night, one word, late night, for 20% off your order. I did say it before. A very generous 20% off your order. And finally, this is Jay Ryan from Late Night. Oh, no. The timing is terrible. It's in between. It's in between heatings. This is Jay Ryan from Late Night Playset reminding you to please like, subscribe, and comment below. This feeds the internet algorithm and eventually us as well. Please be a pal. Like, subscribe, and comment below. It'll be fire. But the fire has gone out this evening because the smoke... Oh, it just came on. Here we go. Everybody hang on to something. Wow. There it is. Go to the wide. Woo. Gee whiz. How you feel?
I better now.
Nothing like yeah, exactly. You can't even say it. Skip loss. Yes, I won't be at Newcomb's tomorrow. By the way, Danny is not coming, so I don't have anyone to go there with. Dasha, I find it very difficult to believe that you cannot find a ride anywhere, let alone to Breakfast Club. But we will miss Danny. I love Danny so much. Danny is the source of so many of our good vibes up there. He just has such a great energy. If anybody doesn't know who we're talking about, I would like to show you now by playing this quick video.
Smash that like button, subscribe. We need some subbies. Come on, you can do it. Late night, woo, good vibes.
I love that guy. Now I'm sad. I'm gonna miss him tomorrow.
I was just gonna say, I'm bummed you won't be there.
His energy is so dang good, and it's so infectious. And you don't even need to get that close. If he sees you from afar, and he cracks that big old smile, he's just got a really solid, awesome smile. The kind of smile that when it shines on you, it feels like a hug.
Yep.
So we love you, Danny, and we love you, Dasha. Dasha, do you want to see it again? I can't do that. We don't have time for that. It's gonna be hot, everybody. She said 90 degrees. Bobo the dog said 90 degrees. Auto Shark is here. Okay, She Spawn, whenever you are oh, look at this. This is so great. Whenever you feel like it, feel free to join in, or I will invite you, which I think I can do right here. Everyone will get to see if I can do this right here. Hey. She Spawn. Whoops, a daisy. Sorry, Taylor. I would love to do you too, Taylor, but no, oh, did I do that to the right one? Did I screw that up, or did I do that right?
I don't know.
All right. Okay. Let's see. She's here. I know that, and I love her for being here. Oh, there we go. Yeah, here it is. Send request. Yeah, I think I did it. Or not. We'll see. It'd be funny that one time we finally promo a show pretty well. They're like, oh, nope, sorry. Bad internet. Bad internet on the East Coast. If you're just tuning in, she's laughing. All right, join whenever you're ready there, Kat. I never call you Kat. I never call you Catherine. What do I call you? I don't call you anything. Go live with She Spawn. Oh, that's easier. You just touch it and go live. Oh, so I can invite anybody. Like when Pooper's here again?
Whoa.
Well, it wasn't actually, his name wasn't Pooper. What was his name? The guy who was on the toilet?
Started with the TH, didn't it? Thumper.
Thumper. Good job. Jamie Tate is here. Composer to the new Late Night Playset theme song that is being worked on. She Spawn is unable to join. Doesn't that figure? Error. Request error. Send again. It's funny. She goes, I've never done it. I'm a little nervous. I don't know how to. There she is. Can you hear us? All right. Hang on. It's not you. It's me. But it's easily remedied. There we go. Hello. Yes, but it's a little loud. What do I hear? A fan? Is that a fan?
Yeah, you want me to turn it off? Hold on. I have no AC.
Oh, no. Well, you're going to be so uncomfortable. But I can't hear you.
No, it's okay. I'll turn it off. I was hoping you wouldn't hear it, but I'll turn it off.
This is amazing. Look at her backdrop there and everything.
That's so cool.
It's a campfire. I thought it was a skyline. It's a campfire with a tent and everything. This is funny. Oh, look at you're wearing the shirt. I almost went to that with you, but I didn't go.
There you go. Yes, now I'm gonna melt, but that's okay.
All right. Well, hello and how are you? And welcome.
I am really happy that went as awful as I expected it to.
Everybody, if you are just joining, this is KATHRYN DELOREAN Seymour. She is one of my closest friends, if not family, in the whole world. But you all know her as the great John DeLorean's daughter. So we're going to be talking about kind of everything and anything, as much or as little as you want to get to. I'm just really excited to see you. You look fantastic. Doesn't she look great?
Really good.
You look happy and healthy.
I'm trying. I'm focusing on my mental health right now. So I'm happy that you think I look happy and healthy, because that's what I'm going for.
You're on brand.
Actually, it was calling into this call that had me happy all day and excited. Even showed up at 5 o'clock my time, even though I told my husband, no, it's 8 o'clock our time. Still showed up at 5 o'clock, but you know, that's me.
I thought you were kidding in that text. She sent me this
No,
text. She was all set,
no,
ready,
like
photo ready, ready to go.
No, and I had told him that morning. I said, no, it's at 8:00, and then I'm the one who said, oh, it's 3:45. I better start changing and everything. Yep.
Well, you have a lot of stuff going on in general, but especially today. So thank you for making time. Thank you for being here. We've been wanting to put this together for ages. You and I don't need a show to talk, and certainly not about this stuff. So it was kind of almost like, how do we do it for people? How can we do it that is good for you, good for us, and good for the people who want to know more about you? And this is what we came up with. So
Yeah.
where do we start?
Well, last week we actually started on talking about how we met, and it was funny listening to the two of us try and figure that story out. And then we stopped talking about it. I said we should stop talking about this and we should try this again on the air because it was absolutely hilarious. I even tried to recount it for Jason, and he said, that's fantastic.
He doesn't care. Yeah, it doesn't work. If you're not part of it, it doesn't matter. Well, let's see. It was 2007, I think, because that's when we bought our car. So probably, maybe. Does that sound right?
I have no years are no good. I can't tell you years.
It might have been before that then.
I was on the DMC forum. I was on the DMC Talk forum, and I got a message from you. And I get a ton of messages, right? And I try and read them all, and I try and respond to them all. But yours was different. You said, I don't know why I'm sending you. All I remember is something about you said you didn't know why you were sending me that message, which is weird because why wouldn't you be? I'm on a DMC forum. I'm KATHRYN DELOREAN. So that was an odd intro.
Right, but I wasn't one of those guys, and I didn't know you existed. I knew about the car and the movie and all this stuff, and certainly the man, but I didn't, you know what I mean? It wasn't part of my life. I wasn't obsessed with that part.
Well, and that was clear because you said I'm reaching out because I just read some of your story and I think we have a similar background. And you told me your story and I responded right away because it was a great message. And all I remember is I started to learn more, read your story more, look into it more, and then I sent you. It's like somebody who texts you one word at a time. I spammed you 1,000 messages.
That's what I remember. I remember being like, oh, that's so cool. She responded. And before I even opened it, there was another one. And then I didn't quite get to it. And then there were a handful more. And by the time I did, there was so many because every time she went and vetted me basically. And as she found out new things, she was like, and this too, and this. And you weren't kidding. This is crazy.
I know, it was crazy. I was like, man, he's going to think I'm psycho now. It was so crazy because the more I read, it was just I don't know, it was like we grew up together, but we had never met before. And it was, from that day on, we just had known each other forever. There was no transition to getting to know each other. It was just like, hey, we're family, that's it. We were separated at birth somehow.
That was it. The closest thing for me is what they say when you find out that you had a sibling or you have a sibling that you never knew about, and then you find out that oh, but I'm that way too. Oh, now it makes sense. It was all of that stuff. Yet as far as I know, we've never traced an actual blood relation in any way possible.
I don't know. I asked Jason the other day, could I have my DNA trace? So maybe it'll come up that we're related somewhere.
We were in the same geographical area, though. I mean, we were, proximity-wise, we were not very far from one another.
No, I've driven through where you used to live at least 1,000 times since living up here. All of New England is one big state, apparently.
That's right. That's right. And you have to drive through it to get somewhere. All right. And then from then on, it was just we were just famously family friends.
And it was never, and we were talking about the story about how when we met up, I think it was in Kentucky, and you were driving back home to California, and so you had stopped, I don't remember which car show it was, we met at a car show, and you needed to stop at our house on the way home.
Oh, I stayed there. Yeah. No, I was going to stay with you, and you ended up not going there, so you were like, well, I mean, you can stay there. So I ended up staying at your house without you.
Yeah, you went and you stayed at the house because you needed a place to stay that was halfway there. And
it was like a hotel, or she's like, don't stay in a hotel, just use the house.
Yeah, well, I mean, because why not? We're family. And so you saw the painting of the DeLorean and you texted
Oh my God, the most embarrassing. I guess this is a good story, but it's so embarrassing to me because I'm so stupid.
Oh, are you kidding? That's the greatest feeling in the world
All right, go ahead and tell it then.
For me, that was the pinnacle of how much family that everybody in the community has become for me. Because so what happened for everybody who's not party to the story? Jay walked in my house, and there's this famous DeLorean painting that was seen behind my dad. It's really important to me. I saw it every morning when I lived in his house when I went to school. So it hangs in my house. It's the one with the blue background.
This is I have it in black and white here, but this is a really famous picture because everyone just knows it. Was it in the boardroom or something?
That's actually it was in his office.
Oh, in his office. Okay.
Yeah, and I think he had it commissioned, and it's weird because the painting is crooked. And
Yeah.
off-center, and it drives me crazy.
Me
and I think
too.
You're the one who pointed it out.
The logo and the
I could
car,
never
it's not
look at it.
square. Yeah.
Yeah, I could never look at it again.
No, it never made sense to me.
But
I was like,
anyway.
why wouldn't you just line it up?
It's horrible.
That's-
It's really annoying, everyone. I love the painting, but it is definitely not centered, and it's absolutely. And I think my entire life I never noticed until Jay pointed it out. Now I can never look at it again. So thank you. But we missed the best part. So he walks into my house and he texts me, "You know I own one of these," and he's embarrassed by it. But to me, that was like, wow.
I sent her,
You're
like,
so close.
you know how when
totally
you go to your,
forgot who I was.
I totally did, because it's not like you have DeLorean shit all over your house. Like, look, this is the house that the DeLorean. Like, no, none of that at all. And then you go into your old office, and it was on the wall in there, and it was just like being at your friend's parents' house or something, and walking around and being like, oh, that's so weird. You like I used to have one. Like, that's so crazy. Of course, it's just the weird part is that I'm telling her she's the issue here. She's like, yeah, I do. As a matter of fact, I did know that.
I do, yeah. I have.
If you recall, I wasn't in my right mind, and I want to just before we even get to you and growing up DeLorean and everything else, since we're on the you and me of it all, I have a couple visual aids, and I'm hoping that you
don't
can.
want to tell that story.
I'm not. I don't know what story. I don't know what you're referring to, but I have a couple visual aids, and I'll bring out, and then you can choose whether or not we want to talk about it. First one is this.
Oh, the mask.
This isn't the same one, obviously, but
Mine's right there. My room's a mess. If I
That's
try
okay.
to move the phone, it'll be a disaster. But it's right there.
all right. So for everybody else, I'm holding up a hockey mask from Friday the 13th.
I love Jason Voorhees. He's my favorite. I just love Jason. I'm obsessed with him for some reason.
And you even married a guy named Jason.
I even married a Jason. And you gave me one of my most prized possessions, which is a Cropsey replica mask, which is one of the best, actually.
That's what they said. He was like the best guy back when he used to make them. So then here's another one that's the other part to that. Tell me if you know about this one.
That's my lucky shirt. I was going to wear that.
But you didn't
I wore
have
this
it.
one instead, because this one tells a different story, and you wear that one all the time. So there you go. I set us up for a whole other story because I knew you already had that.
All right, then one more visual aid, and I think this is what you were saying not to get into earlier. Here we go. I'll just put this right here. Everyone knows what this is. It's a Nightmare on Elm Street Freddy glove.
And then not tell people. So not.
And
write
this
mine,
is
they would
actual metal for anyone
Yes,
who might be
those
concerned.
are knives. Those are sharp knives, and one should not drink when one is playing with sharp knives. And also, one should not be wearing sharp knives when one grabs folding chairs and then closes them on someone's hand with sharp knives on them. And he actually was very, very injured. We should end the story there, but that is why he was not in his right mind.
I genuinely have a scar there that you can see where there was a severed nerve and the whole bit. But everything she just said is exactly true. I won't get into the part that's so bad. I think we told it on the show once, but people threw up, and that was just no good. But the gist of it was, we were drinking heavily, as I used to, at all of those. I never went to a DeLorean event and didn't get plowed. Absolutely shit-faced. Everyone was buying us drinks, and I'm so socially awkward anyway that I needed that lubrication in order to talk to people back then. Anyway, so really, really lubricated. We were fooling around outside, and I folded a folding chair up with the glove on, and I literally, like she said, speared my hand. It was bad. It was really, really bad. I was laughing my ass off.
You kind of deserve you were doing shenanigans with said folding. I don't know if you remember what you were doing with the folding.
Sure I do.
Funny to like move them all around. You weren't stealing them, but you were hiding them from people.
Do you know when you've had enough to drink that everything's a good idea?
I mean, I was right there with you.
We decided this is the DeLorean car show. We're at some hotel in some fucking city, someplace, and the hotel parking lot, nothing but DeLoreans. So for some reason, we like me, not we, me, but you were there, but you know, me. I like went and opened I lifted all of the hatches.
Oh
like
my
there's
God.
no harm in doing this whatsoever. It's just like a stupid, annoying thing. Like why the hell? And by the way, I bet right now is the first time anyone has ever confessed to.
And everybody who was there is like, oh, so that's what happened. And
Yeah.
for the record, you're right. I had no part in
Yeah.
touching the DeLorean.
No, you didn't.
I did not support that.
No, you didn't. No, and I wouldn't have done anything that was actually bad. But my God.
No, you kept saying, no, it's nothing. No, it's really funny. They're going to be really upset, but it's not doing anything. It's just really annoying. I'm like, okay, things don't
Here's
make
the-
sense.
I have-
It's okay and they'll be upset. Don't.
I have not changed one bit. The car show people with the fucking toothbrushes and everything else, I just don't get it. I used to live that life. I decided for me that it wasn't the way to go, so apparently I just fucking abandoned it. But I haven't changed at all. We're still the people who would do something like that as long as it's not actually like malicious or as long as it's not actually hurting anybody. You know what I mean? Like I would never write "wash me" on somebody's car. I would never do anything like that. But like, oh, lifting the windshield wiper just because I know it annoys my friend. Like, yeah, that's my move. I would totally do that. All right, visual aids aside, where should we start with? Like, how much do you want to talk about your dad? And I'm sure people would like to hear what it was like to grow up during that time because everyone else knows what they read in the newspaper and what they saw on Entertainment Tonight. And quite frankly, we know enough about the business that was all bullshit. And
Well, yeah.
and you were actually there. And I know you so well, and we've talked about so much of it over the years that, like, I don't know, if there's any way to let other people know what it was like for you during that time, I'd love to shine a light down there.
Yeah, so great question. Thank you for that, Jay. So recently I've been trying to give that insight into what it was like growing up with my dad. For a long time I would go to the car shows, and I used to always say, I don't understand why everybody wants me to sign their cars. I don't understand why everybody is fawning over me. All I am is the child. All that happened was my parents had a good night and out I came, and what did I do for this car? And I was happy to carry on the legacy, and I really wanted to be there because if I can make people smile by just being there, I mean, that's amazing. That's an incredible power that I have. And so I really wanted to give back. And it wasn't until somebody, and I wish I could remember her name, I remember her face, had run into me in the Corvette Museum after one of the car shows. And she walked up to me and she said, thank you so much for coming to the shows. She said, it means so much to us because you give your father humanity. He no longer is this iconic figure that just existed and is larger than life. You make him a real person, and that answered that question for me. That gave me a purpose and a meaning, was to give my father that humanity, to make him somebody who is just like you and I. He's a real person who lived, and he was a goofball. he was a good dad. He had his problems, but the more that I learn about my life growing up, the more that I reconcile with the life that I grew up and I no longer live, and look back on what he was able to accomplish with my brother and I, despite us having so much. I really think that he just was such a fantastic person underneath all of this toil and trouble. And somebody who could raise two kids with immense wealth that grew up on their own country. I mean, we had 400 acres, 45 minutes from New York. That's no joke.
Is that public knowledge? Do people know? Because people would know your property now. I mean, you and I talk about it because I remember when it all went down. But like the Trump, is it the Bedminster Golf Course in New Jersey?
Yes.
is actually your childhood home.
Yes, it was my childhood home, and actually my father turned it into a golf course to try and save the land because he was very much into, saving nature, and he used to make a joke that you could hunt the deer on our property, but we arm them with bows and arrows tied to their tails.
That's really funny. Your dad was funny.
He was a funny guy. He really did. He was such a practical joker, and he just, I don't know, he did stupid things that you wouldn't expect somebody. Like, one time he thought it'd be funny to sit on my head and fart, and he's 6'4", and I was a teenager, and it hurt, and also was strange because my 6'4" father is sitting on my head farting. I mean, this is not.
She tells me this story, and I was like, that's just a dad thing. She's like, I was 14.
It's different when you're a 14-year-old girl. Like,
Totally.
I wouldn't have had any of that.
Dad, knock it off. That's the best.
But that's it. He was a normal dad who did really stupid, weird things like that. And at the same time, he raised Zach and I to just want to grow up to have. Neither one of us want a lot. We just want to own our own little piece of nature that we can live on and save. And to me, that's incredible because, my husband and I are now looking at houses and things like that. And what we want to get is well under what we can afford because we don't really want more. And that came from him, which is saying a lot when he gave me everything I ever wanted. How do you spoil a child and have them grow up to not want more? I don't know. I don't know what he did to give that to me other than show me what's important in life.
That's huge. If that's what it is, that's amazing.
Yeah, it is, right? It is. And he did, I like to think some of it had to do with how he lived a little bit differently. He used his wealth to give us experiences instead of using his wealth to give us experiences others couldn't have. He used his wealth to actually give us more experiences that others couldn't have in as great of, breadth.
Sure.
For instance, so when we would go places, a lot of people who have a lot of money and wealth, and in one part of my life, we would go to, say, Hawaii and stay at the Four Seasons and stay at the resort the whole time, whatever. My father would take me to Hawaii and we'd go visit a volcano and probably go see a few of the actual natural sites and go see some stuff.
You get it, right?
Yeah.
When we went to
Lots
St.
of
Paul,
parallels.
Minnesota, he took me, he said, come on, we're going to go do something. What are we going to go do? Just come on. And we walked down what had to be 1,000 steps. Anybody who lives up there will know. There's a bunch of steps that go down to the Mississippi River. We walk down all these steps, and he takes his finger, and he sticks it in the water, and he pulls his finger out, just like this. One finger, sticks it in the water, pulls his finger out, says, come on, let's go. What just happened? What? I just always wanted to put my finger in the Mississippi River. Come on, let's go. And back up 1,000 steps we went so he could put his finger in the river. One finger.
But who knows? Because he read, Tom Sawyer or something as a kid. Who knows what it was? But for some reason in his head, it was, I got to go do that one day. And he did it. And you were there for the bucket list. That's cool.
I was there for the bucket list moment and the 1,000 steps I had to walk back up to get away from the river.
It sounds like he was kind of unique in that way anyway. I mean, he wasn't just forging his own path in business. Like, he would do that in every aspect of life.
Yes.
I mean, your dad was he had kind of an artist mentality. Would you agree with that?
Yes, very much. And he didn't play by the rules as long as he felt it was for the greater good. And that's one of the things that I'm actually looking at from so I always say my dad and John DeLorean are two different people. So if I speak of John DeLorean, then I'm talking about the business person. If I speak of my dad, it's generally my dad, the other person. And a lot of the things that he did in business were not great. And I saw a lot of that. And it was very hard for me to reconcile that. Because the other person that I saw was somebody who, we were walking down the street one day in the middle of winter, and he had on a trench coat that was it was something he bought when he had a lot of wealth. And it was freezing, and there was a man on the street sleeping. He didn't know how cold he was, But he had nothing. He had no blanket. He had nothing. My father took it off. He took $100, stuck it in the pocket, put it on the man. And he never replaced that coat because he never had the money to replace that coat.
Yeah.
But that man needed it more than he did. And I saw this from him. And the same time I saw the man who was portrayed in that movie. I mean, I saw him do a lot of those things. I had a hard time reconciling the way he treated people, the way the movie portrayed that, because I didn't know him to do that. That was hard for me. But
which movie, just so everyone knows what you're talking about?
Framing John
Delorean. Okay.
Yeah. That aside, when he was doing a lot of his business stuff, I really believe he found a way to justify it in his head.
Mm-hmm.
Because I really believe he did the crooked stuff because he felt it was for the greater good.
Well, you and I talked about this, and I don't mean to cut you off, but, you know, your dad was a bit of an idealist. Or maybe he was just straight up an idealist. And one of the things, you know, he wanted to get this car done and all, and that was really going to be important for his whole mark. But he wanted to politically, he really wanted to help the country. He wanted to help that government. Like, he had very good intentions, the man did, that just seemed like they maybe just didn't pan out. Is it as simple as that?
It really was. He really believed he could save the world. I really think he thought he could solve the conflict in Northern Ireland with his company.
I totally get that.
And later in life, some of the comments that he's made about what happened with the company and some of the regrets that he's had and some of the things that I've caught in the offhand moments, it really feels to me like his biggest regret was that he let them down, the people of Ireland.
The people of Ireland, wow.
Yeah, and because it meant a lot to him. He said that the greatest feeling he ever had in his whole life was going back to the cuts and seeing the kids who had new clothes and bikes. Because their parents could now afford to, you know, and he grew up like that.
People don't realize that it was an insanely poor area. Dunmurry, I believe, was a very poor area of Ireland, as I understand it, until that industry moved in. They built that factory. Mm-hmm. It's a huge deal.
It was a huge deal. And I think that he saw, you know, a lot of, he used to tell me, I grew up so far on the wrong side of the tracks, I didn't even know there was another side of the tracks. And so I think he sees that, and he really wants to give people opportunities to get out of that in any way he can. Right up until late in his life, he tried to save the entire country of Mexico. He arranged, he did. He arranged I think I'm losing my leg here. Ooh,
that looks good.
Yeah, no, that's terrible. Are you kidding? I look terrible. Okay, there. Oh. Okay. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I don't care what I look like. I just want you to be able to see. He negotiated some deal with John Deere and Monsanto and all of these big people to actually and worked it out with the farmers in southern Mexico to actually go in and actually create an industry that would have in 5 to 10 years pulled Mexico from a third world country into a first world superpower.
Oh my God!
With all of us, right? Like
just through agriculture.
Just through agriculture, and
wow.
he got everybody to donate all the stuff, and then Mexico's government. This is a story he told, so I can only tell you that this is what he told me. I don't know how much of this is true, but Mexico's government wanted kickbacks, and everybody was donating everything, so nobody's going to kick back.
There was no money flowing, right?
There was no money. There was money at the end of this for you. Like at the end, you have a country that has more money.
That has all the money they ever need, right? Exactly.
Yeah.
Wow, that's so interesting. Wait, what was the time frame on that? Was this his later years?
He was sitting on the couch in New Jersey. That's all I can tell you.
Wow.
He was sitting on the couch in New Jersey. So I don't know years. I only know I can picture timelines in my head.
But I mean, this was after the car company.
Well after.
And before he died, obviously. Yeah. Okay.
And there was nothing in it for him. This was a DeLorean fact. Like he wasn't, no money, nothing. Why are you saving Mexico?
That's what I was going to say. That's what's interesting to me about your dad's brain. A lot of people would be like, oh, I got to get that car thing going again or whatever, whatever got him down. Or I'm going to show Detroit because they fucked me, whatever the heck it is. And no, he was just like, well, there's a problem over here. Maybe I could fix that. And, there's a problem over there. Maybe I could look at that for a little bit. That to me is amazing. I mean, that is a humanitarian. And I know it's a completely different light than anybody thinks of John Z. DeLorean.
Exactly. And that's the story I want to tell, right? I want to tell the story of these weird things that he did that people don't about what an incredible human he was, and how he really did. We went to feed the homeless. We went to feed the homeless every year on Thanksgiving. And one year we went and we actually rode in Central Park before we went to feed the homeless that year. And a newspaper, somebody in the New York Times saw us, started taking pictures, and followed us for the entire day. Yay, fame. We didn't know they followed us for the entire day.
Oh.
Pictures the entire day. And when we fed the homeless, my father would always take me to this really tiny church way down in, this was just where you go to really take care of people. And
not where you go to like Midtown
BC,
where you get photographed. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, well, just leave it at that. And so the next day there was a photo of him feeding the homeless at the shelter, and he was devastated because this poor little church was now inundated with people who were trying to just see where he was, and he felt terrible for trying to do something good because now he did something bad.
In his eyes it was, or at least it wasn't what he intended.
Exactly, it wasn't what he intended. Well, and maybe it turned out well for the church because maybe people gave more money to the church, but in his mind it was attention that he did not intend to bring.
Right.
But that's kind of who he was. He wanted to do good, and not necessarily so everybody do it. He just wanted to do good.
There's a whole Curb Your Enthusiasm based on the anonymous donation, that whole thing. Like your dad was one who would have preferred to stay anonymous, not like anonymous by Ted Danson or anonymous by John DeLorean. Yeah, that's interesting, and I think it again goes against what most people think of him. He has really it's the media that's kind of portrayed this over time, from the newspaper articles till I guess forever. But there was a pomposity is the wrong word, but an arrogance. There was something about the way he carried himself, which I looked in his eyes and I see somebody who actually, I see the guy I think is probably your dad.
Yeah.
And I was never there in these boardrooms when all of these deals were actually being done, but I tend to believe you and the things you say about your dad, not just because we're friends, but because I can see that too. And I think maybe other empathetic people can maybe tune into that. The 80s were not a good time for that. The 80s were very black and white, right and wrong, really dirty, very corrupt, especially in New York and the U.S. I don't know that there is a world where your dad could have succeeded in that car company. I think, I think I'm one of the people who believes the framing John DeLorean. I really believe that you can't go take on the big three and most people might not even know this. The reason that car was stainless steel, the reason it was fiberglass, the whole thing behind this car was, of course, it was supposed to be a bitchin' sports car, but it was supposed to last a really long time. It was supposed to last 25 years or something like that. In an industry where you're supposed to keep cranking them out, new one, buy the new one next year. I believe you when you say your dad's a good guy, and my own intuition tells me that there was a lot of tomfoolery behind the scenes that put him in some situations that he didn't need to be in. Obviously, we all make our own decisions at the end of the day.
So first of all, show me a businessman from that time that you couldn't find dirt on. I really believe that was how business was done. I mean, I don't know, but I saw Mad Men, and that was really not a whole lot different.
Yeah.
Wow, I had something to say, and then I got distracted by thinking about Mad Men.
Well, Don Draper's dreamy. Everybody knows that.
But you're right. He deep down inside, he was that guy, and you say you weren't in the boardroom, and I try and imagine what goes through his head, because I think a lot like my dad. You were talking about solving problems, and I invent weird things. I invented a paint one day that actually I think they're inventing now. I started thinking about how color is only a refraction of light, and if you actually created a paint on your wall that that could just reflect the light differently. You could change your paint color by changing the crystals.
Yeah.
And they're doing something like that based on butterflies.
Totally, like an iridescency.
Yeah, and I sat down one night, and we have chalkboards and whiteboards all over every house we live in now, because I'll do that. I'll just sit and I'll write all over the wall, and I'll invent. One time I invented a window that could heat and cool your house with concave or convex glass.
Just don't be standing on any toilets hanging any clocks, because that's
right?
already, yeah.
Oh, the flux capacitor story.
What is it?
This is a great story about my dad.
Okay.
This is a fantastic story about my dad.
Awesome.
So my husband married me and then met my dad. My dad had not heard of him before I was married to my husband. That's a whole other story for another time. But you can imagine how terrifying it had to be for Jason to meet my father.
Oh, God.
Hi, Mr. DeLorean, I married your daughter.
Any father, let alone your dad.
Yes, exactly. And on the way there, I said, are you nervous about meeting? We had a conversation about it. He said, I kind of always wanted to ask him about the flux capacitor. And I said, you should ask him that question. And he says, what are you talking about? I said, no, you totally have to ask him that question. You just have to. This is so perfect. So he does. He goes, he says, hi, Mr. DeLorean. It's really nice to meet you. Hi. He says, I'd like to ask you a question. I just wondered how you invented the flux capacitor. And my father starts telling the story about falling off the toilet.
No.
And yes.
That shows how fucking funny your dad was.
I know. Yes, he totally bought into it. He went right. And that was it. That was.
Oh my God.
And at the end of the dinner, my father said to me, he said, I like him. I know you're going to be okay. And that was his stamp of approval. I know. But that was how, that's my dad, right? Yes, you should totally ask him how he invented the flux capacitor. And when he did, he went with it.
That's amazing. That is amazing.
That's a great story.
We had Danny Botkin on recently, and that freaking movie has immortalized the car way more than your dad's story has, which is, I guess, kind of a good thing. But do you still go to the DeLorean events and stuff? Like, I know we used to hang out there, but like, I haven't been to one in many, 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 many years. I haven't worn the shirt since then. You're the only DeLorean still in my life.
Jason has a license plate frame that says, I'd rather be driving my DeLorean.
Oh, yeah. Double innuendo for him, sure.
Yes. I believe Ken's was the last one I went to. I go to the Celebration Car Show pretty often. And I always stop by and say hello to all the DeLoreans. But I haven't been to a DeLorean show in quite some time.
Do they still do them? I don't even know if they still do them. Oh, okay.
They do, and somebody else took it over, and it's not because somebody else took it over that I haven't gone. There was an incident that happened at one of the shows where somebody was incredibly rude and disrespectful to myself and to my husband in the way that they treated me.
I remember.
And I believe you were one of the people who was around me who actually stopped that person, put that person there. There was a whole slew of people around me who actually put that person in their place. Unfortunately, my husband was over there and only saw the rudeness and not how the people reacted, and basically all but kicked this person's butt.
It was like the same night, I'm pretty sure, or the same trip anyway as this. So there was all sorts of stuff going on. And I just remember that I was like, man, I got to quit drinking.
Definitely one of those moments.
But anyway, I do know what you're talking about, yes.
That was part of it. That was part of it. And the other part of it was it's a lot. So I'm very much an introverted person who's extroverted when I come and put it on, right? And I love it. I love the performing, and I love being able to give back because I love what I get back from it. So again, the power to make people smile. If you can walk into a room and make people happy by your presence just being there, that's incredible. That's just something that is a gift that was given to me that is beyond anything I could ever ask for. And to not use that to actually bring happiness to other people when I can would be a shame. And it also gives me an opportunity to carry on my father's legacy. But what it does is it gives me a chance to get to meet the people whose lives have been changed by his car.
Yeah.
And that to me has been everything. Hearing the stories of people who saw the car when they were a kid, and then their whole life was about working until they could get one, and then they're successful in ways they never would have been because of lessons they learned saving for the car.
Because the car was the goal, yeah.
it was great for me, and I would like to start getting back into it, but it's also very, very, very taxing.
Emotionally, mentally?
All of it, because I feel like I want to talk to everybody. I want to talk to everybody until they're done talking to me.
Yeah.
And I can't always do that. And then at the end of the day, it's a lot. It takes a lot out of you because you give a lot of yourself. Yeah. Right. And I need some time to kind of go back into my hole and recharge a little and reset. And I started doing that at work. So I started taking on a role at work where I would go to conferences and recruit young kids to the security world. So now I have that going on at work, and then to add into it back to the DeLorean shows, it became something that was really just I couldn't do it.
Yeah, it's just a lot. You know, life is ebbs and flows. I mean, like you said before, you'll get back to it when and if the time is right.
I really would like to, though, because the community is so incredible. It really is amazing. It's a special and unique group of people that own this car.
Yeah. What do you mean by that? I agree, but I'm curious to hear your thoughts.
How do you identify yourself as a Porsche owner? Do you go around calling yourself by your VIN? I don't know.
Nope.
But I never.
But that's what they do. Hey, I'm 10408. Oh, that's cool. I'm 8735. Yeah, I know.
It's because the car is so much a part of them, and their story and their history, and they feel like they're the keepers of the dream.
Well, I think enough time. You know what? The thing is, this isn't a fad anymore. Even when I got out of Back to the Future, I was like, after 2015, it's done, folks. What are they going to do? The movie was, you know what I mean? I was like, it's over. I was so wrong. That shit is bigger now than it has ever been. I am blown away. I can't believe it. They just did a mini-series on Discovery Channel about it, about the damn DeLorean. I'm sure you know about it. The whole thing is just kind of amazing to me, and it's not really going away. So I guess the element I'm trying to get to is it's not a fad anymore. So enough time has gone by that these people are right. They are the temporary stewards of these vehicles because it's not going to be forgot about anytime soon. This actually fucking made it into foreverdom. Foreverdom.
Yes.
As long as there is humanity with these people, they're going to know that car and that movie and stuff.
Yes, and they kept it alive this whole time. When I went to my first car show, when I went to DCS 2000, or actually the first one I went to was a little tiny GTO show in New Jersey. And
oh, cool. I love the GTOs.
He was invited to go, and I said, hey, can I go? And this is a funny story. I went, and they asked me to speak, and I got up in front of the stage. It was just, maybe 30 people in the room. It's not huge. And I get up there to talk, and they say, it's KATHRYN DELOREAN, and they collectively at once go, and suddenly I was standing on stage naked. I mean, I just was terrified. I didn't know what to say. I was like, I had never been so frightened in my life because I'd never been so important before.
Yeah, they also sucked the air out of the room instead of like getting some applause going for you to push you up there, which would have been nice. Yeah. They did the opposite. They fucking turned the vacuum on.
They were like, oh my gosh. And
yeah,
like, okay,
that's tough to live up to if you're anybody. I mean, that's literally the worst warm-up act in the history of the world. But meanwhile, they were thrilled that you were there.
Yes. And I went back and I said, let's go to this one in Cleveland. You have to see how much these people love you and they're keeping your dream alive, and you really have to go see this.
You're telling your dad this?
Yes, I'm telling my dad this. So I made him go to Cleveland with me, and I dragged him to the car show, and we had a great time. He was a little heartbroken after his signatures went for sale on eBay, but I actually think something else played. I think he was really sick towards the end there, and I think that played into him not coming back. But it was good for him because he was able to see that there are thousands of people out there who remember the good he did, who remember what he was trying to do, and who are keeping his dream alive. And you're right, it made it over the hump. I was telling Jason was going through YouTube the other day, and he stopped at a time travel video that had a DeLorean on it. He said, pardon my French, that is associated with time travel. It's not really French. I speak French. That wasn't French. Anyway, and he said, said, it's like anything for time travel. It will always come up. That thing, it's going to come up forever for the rest of time. And I said, yeah, I'm trying to reconcile with the fact that my maiden name is one that is not just famous, it's worldwide recognizable anywhere. That's a little bonkers how big it is. That, right?
Well, in a weird way, maybe your dad succeeded then. I mean, if it's more about the idea than the actual stainless steel vehicle, then there are thousands of people who meet every year and celebrate and continue on those dreams and ideals. So, I mean, in some ways, your dad is a massive success, and I think that's pretty awesome.
I think so. I really do.
All right, we should probably touch on the movies real quick before we think about wrapping it up. You were vocal with me anyway, and I think publicly, about the Framing John DeLorean movie. That was Tamir's, right?
Yeah.
So you've known Tamir a long time, and you were you participated, I think would be fair to say, with that one. There have been other ones that have come out that I haven't actually seen. Somebody just told me to watch one today called Driven in 2018 that came out.
Don't watch. Do not watch.
No, okay. No on Driven. And
I
then
love Timothy Oliphant. And I cannot watch Justified anymore, nor can I watch Archer, which is one of my favorite shows because of whatever her face is, because of what they did in that movie.
Wow, okay. So basically, I haven't seen it, but basically what you're not agreeing with the content. It's not about how good a movie it was. It was what they're portraying in the movie, right?
Yeah, correct. And then somebody else took the opportunity to say it was the truth, and it wasn't.
Oh,
and
I know who you mean.
She just wanted to whatever. So we don't need to talk about Driven, but there's an interesting story about what I learned about the relationship of that said person with the drug dealer who set my father up. Okay. So apparently I was told at breakfast with Tamir and Christina that Christina actually knew the drug dealer, the pilot who flew for the drug dealer that set my dad up, was in love with my mother, something like that. So that's an interesting thing that I learned after.
Breaking news, everybody! This whole thing just got controversial.
So there you go.
Wow!
Scoop. Thing. And it was, she told
Christina Ferrara frames John DeLorean. That's the story now. Holy crap!
I don't know that happened. No. I don't. That's not what I'm saying. Okay?
That is definitely not what you said.
I did not say that. She said she knew the drug dealer beforehand.
That's amazing, though.
Totally.
Isn't that amazing? It's it's one of those things where it's a small world and the synchronicities pop up regardless.
Yeah. It was crazy. But anyway, so the movie, Tamir, I've known Tamir forever, and I used to call him the keeper of the story. He was the official documentarian. I sanctioned him as the official documentarian because he had everything and he kept everything. I believe that there were things at play that part of it is my fault. Part of it is my fault because I introduced him to people who changed the story, and I actually found out that there was a scene in the movie. This is so why I got upset with the movie. The movie overall is very good, and Tamir did a great job and all of that. But there was a focus on the negative person that he was, which of course is the sensational side of the story that had to be told. Mm-hmm. But also, there's a scene in the movie where he's getting ready to go to court, and he's putting on his tie, and he's ignoring his children, and he's only focused on the tie. And that felt so foreign to me, that one scene stuck with me every time I saw the movie. I just hated it.
Stuck out with us, too. I go, that doesn't feel right. I genuinely go, that doesn't feel right.
No, it doesn't feel right. And so I went
That wasn't anything that you've ever told me.
And I went to Tamir and I said, that tie scene was a lie. And he said, that came from a story Christina told Alec, and they added the children for artistic effect. And I said, you made a scene in a movie where my father ignores me for a tie, for artistic effect, with no consideration for how that might reflect upon me or affect me when I don't know because I was 6. How do I know that that's not true? And then you don't even bother to tell me that he did not do that. What kind of a person are you? And he didn't even apologize.
Oh, wow.
He didn't say I'm sorry. He told me I was wrong.
Wow.
And so I said, fuck you. And I never spoke to him again.
Are you
Because
serious?
You know what? Yeah.
Oh my God! I didn't know this was going to be a scoop either. I had no idea. I wasn't leading here.
No,
I thought you were going to say nice things.
Sorry. Apologize to me. Feel bad for making me feel like my father treated me like crap because I believed it until he told me it wasn't true.
Interesting. So you saw it and go, wow, that happened, and it gave you all these feelings because that isn't the memories that you have with your dad. And then when you went and said, hey, what's the deal? And then you said, oh, that came from, wow. So, I mean, yeah, that's an emotional thing. But that's nothing that anybody else in the world could relate to. Only you and Zach.
Only me, yeah. And you know what? And still, I'm not going to tell people that Tamir's a bad person or anything like that. No. He did what he did. He did what he did in Hollywood. The movie's still great. He's still a good person. I just want nothing to do with him anymore.
Wow. I will say that for the record, you used to say nothing but good things about him. And as far as I know, he was the only one that you ever used to talk to about this stuff, like on the record. So it didn't even occur to me that that's why you might have. I didn't even when we agreed to do this, it didn't even occur to me that we're like, oh, what happened with Tamir? Like I didn't.
No, and you know what? Again, I don't fault him. I'm not going to say that Tamir is a bad person because of what happened between us. I do not agree with the fact that you don't even tell me you're sorry. Like I am a very forgiving person.
Yeah.
For mistakes that people make. All you had to do was say, I'm sorry, I didn't understand it would affect you that way, and I didn't mean for that to happen. Do not defend your actions to me. You lied in a documentary that made my father look like a monster. That scene made my father look like a monster.
This whole thing, and never mind. Let's move on. I was gonna go on, let's just put a pin in that. But framing John DeLorean, as far as the content of that movie, shy of that scene, which is obviously fictitious, shy of that, you generally agree with the content? Those somewhat match.
I do to an extent. So, I don't know the story very well, right?
Because you're a kid at the time.
Very young.
Right.
Yeah, I was very young. I also have memory issues because of my own. I have a form of amnesia that we'll talk about that some other time. But
I have selective memory too. I totally get it.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
So I don't have a full picture. So one thing that stuck with me is when we left the premiere, BJ turned to me. BJ, who for everybody else on this call, because it feels like we're talking to each other.
Good.
BJ, she looked at me. She said, "I don't know that man." But BJ was my father's lifelong girlfriend. My whole life, she was his girlfriend, and they were never married because she didn't want to move in. That's a story that I never knew. She just recently told me. But she turned to me and she said, "I don't know the man in that movie," and that stuck with me. It really did, and that's when I first started to question what I saw in the movie because she was the second person who knew my father well to tell me that wasn't a movie that reflected him. And Zach, who was around at that time, was pissed. He was so mad at what Tamir did with that movie.
Wow.
So I liked it because maybe I don't know any better, but also I like Tamir, right? And I also believe he did what he could. I believe that there is a lot that Hollywood has to do with the story that can be told in a way that will get attention. And I don't believe that the movie would have gotten the attention that it did if he didn't tell the story the way that he did.
Interesting. I don't know. Hearing this stuff today, I have a different opinion of it. I want to see it again now. In my mind, it was sort of a warm and fuzzy because I thought, that whatever. I thought you felt differently. But hearing what I heard today, it makes me want to go look at it with fresh eyes because the thing that you mentioned stuck out to us as well. And there were other moments like that. Like, I love Alec Baldwin as an actor and really more as a provocateur. But I don't know if he was the best casting for that. But I mean, I get that he was a huge name and that's why, it probably helped get it done and everything. I don't feel that he nailed your dad.
No, but he was getting who my dad was from Christina.
Yeah.
So the person that he was told to portray was the one that Christina told him to portray.
Gotcha.
And that's where my fault comes in, is that I didn't consider what Christina would do to them. So she colored a lot of it so that I think the people who knew him best walked away saying, I don't know who that man is. I think if you ask yourself, if you go back and you watch it and you ask yourself if it's a scene that feels like she told it, you would find that probably the ones that didn't feel right are very much ones that she could have had her input color that scene.
Makes perfect sense. I mean, yeah, we all have we all have our history.
Yeah,
it's just his story, you know.
So, but it's still a very good movie. I mean, it really does. It still tells the amazing story of the GTO, which is my favorite, and I know he put that in there for me.
Aww.
I know he made sure that was in there for me, and there was a couple of other things that he put in the movie that I know he put in there for me. So again, I don't hate Tamir. I want to hate Tamir, but I don't hate Tamir. I love the guy.
It's too much history.
He's an amazing person. Yeah, he really is. And I think he really wanted to do all the right things, and I don't think he knows.
This is what I was going to say before, and I decided to put a pin in it, but now since you brought it up again, that guy's life's work was your dad and your family's story. So the fact that he has hurt you at all, I would imagine, is actually probably weighing on him a bit. I don't think he's just, fuck her, I don't care. Like, you never know what might come out of it. I know you're not looking for anything, but it sounds like you might be open if the conversation changed.
I forgive, and I can forget. That's a blessing of my
Yeah. That's her thing.
Really, I will. If you just acknowledge that what you did was incorrect and you apologize to me. It wasn't that he put it in the movie, and it was that he defended himself after I told him I was upset, and that didn't even bother to say I'm sorry. He can defend his decision, that's fine, but apologize to me for that is. I don't think anybody else can really appreciate how horrific that scene was, but if you consider that he ignored me for a tie and sent me to go get a hug from Christina, it is not exactly the scene. That gave me some warm and fuzzies.
Not how you intended, but it all comes around.
Yeah. So, I mean, and again, he got that from somebody, he got that from the horse's mouth. That is not Tamir's fault.
Right.
That is not Tamir's fault.
Right.
It is just say you're sorry.
Yeah.
So I don't want to go into like all this. There's too much drama. I don't like putting drama out there. But
Good.
I again want to say I still love Tamir for what he's done. His
Sure.
life work was telling the story. I know that he's not happy with the fact that I'm not talking to him.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's already been covered, I guess.
I would like to rectify that someday. I don't have that in me right now because I have to get myself better first.
No worries. Real quick here. Green Team says, "Wow, cool guest. Back in the 80s, I worked for a car rental agency in Palm Springs. One of the cars was rented out for a few months. Every 4 weeks, the guy would call and renew it over the phone. One day, I was flooded with phone calls from the news networks trying to find that car. Turns out he was the foreman on the jury of DeLorean's trial, and they had traced the plate to his little rental company." All right, so that's not so much a question as an how about that story?
That's kind of cool.
And now here is our friend of ours, Def Sushi, said, "I used to shoe horses for his lawyer." There's a lot of Los Angeles history. Which lawyer, Def Sushi? I don't know if she's here actually right now, Milani, but we'll find out. And Beverly Whedon wants to know how many of these cars were actually sold. Do you know the answer to that?
The number I always had in my head was around 9,000.
My answer to this question would be all of them. They were all sold. And then, yes, I believe there was about 9,000 made in total. Yeah, I think that's right. And then Danny Botkin always told me there was about 6,000 still on the road-ish, what he was estimating, something like that. But although they're coming up in value, collector cars are coming up and DeLoreans too. So I'm guessing like some of the ones that were like wrecked might all of a sudden get restored or something. Who knows?
I'll tell you the most amazing car I've seen in all the car shows I've gone to.
Tell me.
My light is dying. Was some kid ended up getting a DeLorean that had been parked in a garage since the day he bought it, had 8 miles on it, and it was wrapped in plastic in the garage.
Wow.
He brought it to Tennessee, and I got to sit in it. I was the only person who got to touch the car. It smelled like a new car.
Wow.
Yes. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, it's amazing because it was 1982, 81, something like. I mean, that's a long ass time ago.
I don't know. I don't remember what year it was.
That's amazing.
But I just remember I got in it and it smelled like a brand new car, and it blew my mind. And he was a
Amazing.
kid. It was just a kid who happened upon it. You know,
It's amazing.
It's amazing.
Skip
But-
Ploss here, who is one of the reasons I even do any of this stuff, because he influenced me as a little kid. He wants to know the GTO story. Is there a specific GTO story that he might know with you, or is it just the story of how your dad created the Pontiac GTO?
The story of how I created the GTO is a lot of fun. I don't know if he knows the specific GTO story with me.
No, let's hear it if you don't mind. And then that's a nice positive note to wrap it up on, because that is probably my favorite car that he did.
Yeah, I'll tell you the part of the story that isn't in the movie. So what my dad told me. He actually said that the GTO was invented for him. And he had his mechanics put the larger engine in the smaller car, and then he would loan it out to people and nobody would ever want to return it.
Whoa.
And so he realized that he had something really hot on his hands, and he decided he wanted to make it a production car, but he also knew that it would never fly on the 14th floor. So so he actually made it an option package because he knew that they couldn't stop him from doing that.
Right.
And it turned into the most popular option package.
Check that box.
Yeah.
Wow. So essentially, John DeLorean had this idea, and he had the design team do the R&D to just, we'll shoehorn this into here, and we'll just make that for him, and then he's got it. I mean, it's really kind of amazing. In fact, I don't see another way where that would have happened. That's got to be the story.
He just had them build him his own car, and
because why not?
The GTO. Yeah.
I mean, he was a high-level executive with them before any of the DeLorean car stuff. I mean, a lot of people don't really know, but I mean, he was really, really the guy to watch.
He had our driveway in New Jersey was full of Corvettes, and there was a guy whose job it was to wash them all day. That's what
Amazing. Amazing. I love you. How do you feel about this? We've totally done the time. You've done a whole hour. How do you feel?
I feel amazing. My light has died. My little. This is what I did for my light. Okay.
Good
so
job.
This is how I solved my light problem. That's a pen holding it straight on a bottle of lotion.
It totally works. I like your whole backdrop and everything.
My backdrop. Yeah. It's just something we got for Sarah to have indoor camping.
I love it.
And I was like, I need something to cover behind me.
I love it. I love you. Let this be the first of more. I know that there's a lot of stuff we could get to, and if you and I actually thought about let's talk about this, let's talk about this, let's talk about this, we could probably give people a hell of a show. But I feel really, really good about this today.
Yes, we'll do it again. Like I said, I had a rough night, and then I woke up and said, this is going to make my day. So I will be back anytime you want me, friend.
I love you. You are my heart. You are my sister. I can't believe we're not related. It's very bizarre.
I think we might be. It might be a thing. We can find out. I love you guys so much. Thank you for having me. I will be back.
Love to Jason. Love to the kids.
Yes.
And
Love you guys.
and we'll see you soon.
Yes.
Awesome. Oh my God, she's the best. Now, if you know how to hang up, that'll be great because I have no idea.
I don't know how to hang up. I was just going to say that. I have no idea how to.
Nope. Somebody said you hit the X at the top and try to leave, but if I try to do it, it shuts off Instagram, so I can't do it.
Yeah, no, it's good. I'm going to try it. Wait, let's see. Okay,
Love you.
Yeah, it's that. There.
Oh, that's the best. Whew. The speaker, the noise there in the mill. She lives in an old factory in New England. There's a mill with water going outside, so
That's
there's
what
a
that
waterfall. There's no way you can turn that off. She killed the fan, but that was it. She is amazing. I just find her so inspirational. She has been through a lot to be able to be that positive at this point. Having been through that kind of a childhood and to be able to put your own life together and have kids and a good, healthy relationship, it's a lot. It's a lot. Life isn't easy. So I love you, KATHRYN DeLOREAN. Great job. Great job, and thanks for being here.
I miss you very much.
That was the other thing. We used to see her. She would come out here to visit family frequently, and that's not happening as frequently now, so we don't see her as frequently now. So it had been a while. That's when we started talking on the phone again, and we were like, we should just do it on the show. That's how this came together.
It was good to see her face, but I love that lady.
As a owner of now my 5th DeLorean, KATHRYN, I would love to see you involved in the DeLorean community again. Oh, that's lovely. That's from PGH, German car guy. PGH, German car guy. Thanks for checking us out. All right. Well, it's been really, really long. We should go. Thank you to KATHRYN. Please follow her at SheSpawn13 on the Instagram. And Guards Rad, thank you so much for the new YouTube channel. What are you driving today? Everybody go there right now. It is open. It is live. I just saw it on Instagram by accident. He is posting already. She says, I love you and miss you too, Nicole.
Oh, thanks, Liz.
So check out What Are You Driving Today and see all of Season 1. They are all up and available to be binged. Season 2 will begin filming, I think next week. Maybe tomorrow, but I think next week because it's going to be hot as hell again tomorrow. I don't know. You heard Dasha there.
I heard.
I went outside to do some stuff on the patio. I was cleaning the patio earlier today. It was ridiculous. So that's your decision in the morning. See how you feel.
Okay.
But know that. And then I got to do the smoking tire afterwards. We're doing a smoking tire show afterwards in the afternoon too. So I'll be live with the smoking tire tomorrow while the guest is Ariel Adams. Ariel Adams is the guest. Okay, that's it. Sorry. GVBC tomorrow morning. We will be there 9 to 11 up at Newcomb's. And next week we're back with automotive journalist Kurt Bradley. That's it. We love everybody. I love you. We love you at home. Please love one another. Thank you so much, KATHRYN. We love you. And we'll see you out there.